So this is part 2 of Story of My Life. So going back to what I was saying, so yeah, as much as I was an overachiever, I did well in school. I wasn't allowed to date anyone. Or talk to any guys or anything like that. I wasn't even allowed. If I wanted to go out, I had to have one of my siblings come with me or drive me there, because at the time I was learning to drive, but I wasn't allowed to go out anywhere. It was just like a whole prison thing. But yeah, so went through that when I was a kid. My parents are always fighting back and forth. My mom likes money, so obviously in America the rules are when you get a woman pregnant, if they find out that the child is yours, you have to pay child support till the age. Before it used to be 18, now you have to pay for the kid until they're 23 years old. So with my dad having 4 kids, and each of us did not live with him, so which means he had to pay each baby mum money for each child. I think I got about from what I heard, about 500 a month. So that was coming out of my dad's wages, basically, before he even gets to touch it. They chuck it out. And God knows what my other siblings were getting as well. So obviously my mom used the opportunity to keep taking him to court because she wanted more money. This frustrated my dad. So eventually he started to act a certain way to my mom, started to do some crazy stuff. They were fighting back and forth. And I was always in the middle of all this drama. And when I was about 4, I was taken to Africa. So my family's from Sierra Leone. I was in Africa from the age of 4, something like that. Or I think before that I was there. Anyways, I went to Sierra Leone at a young age. And basically what my mom's plan was, because she said it was too hard being a mom, she was going to leave me to my grandparents in Africa till I was about 21. And then from there, I can come back if I wanted to. Now, back then, there was a war in Sierra Leone where they were literally chopping people's hands off. A few of you probably know about it, but it was a major war. In that country, when they have things like elections, choosing presidents and stuff, they tend to become very violent. So depending on who's coming into power. So at that time, there was a massive war, people getting their hands chopped off and things like that. So because I'm a US citizen, when you're in a country of war, what they do is they request that all American citizens come back. And so my auntie had to escape with me to Gambia, and then from Gambia I had to be flown back into the United States of America. When I did come back, it was just me and my mum. And then that's when the whole drama with my dad started. I do remember going to school, her picking me up and things like that. But I do remember when I was younger, I was quite, how can I say? I was a very cheeky child. So I think there was a time where my mom went into the room with a guy, and she came out and I was like, I know what you guys were doing. I didn't really know what they were doing, but I had a big mouth. And my mom beat the shit out of me. And there was times where my mom used to go to school to beat me because I'm always getting in trouble and things like that. So then my mom brought over my grandparents from Sierra Leone and my cousin. And I think, yeah, one of my uncles came with them as well. Was it? No. Yeah. One of my uncles came with them. So it was my cousin, my older cousin, my grandparents, and then my uncle. And when they came over from Sierra Leone, basically my mom needed help because it was hard for her to be a mom, and then she has to work, and then she has to do this. She found it to be difficult, so she wanted her mom there. And obviously it makes sense, you know. So brought them over, and I realized after a while it was all right, and then problems started happening. and I'll see my mom yelling at my grandmother, my grandparents, and there was an incident where my mom called the police and said my grandmother tried to poison me, and obviously it wasn't true, but my mom is a drama queen. So many things happened. Before I knew it, basically, there was a point where we were basically homeless, to be honest. They had these little shelters where you go, you have to stand in line just to get a bed to sleep in. And when they ran out of beds, there's like these, it's like a waiting room area, chair kind of thing. So we'll sleep on the chairs, basically. Yeah, it got to a point where we were homeless at some point in New York City, and finally got a place. My mom went to the UK and left me with my grandparents. She took me with her, and then she got into a fight with one of my aunties. She's passed away now. She died of diabetes. So sad. But yeah, we came over to the UK and we were living with her. But knowing my mom, once again, oh, she's living in a woman's house, but then she's talking about the woman as well to other people. My auntie walked in one day, overheard the conversation. They got into a physical fight. Till this day, me and my cousin will remember it. Our moms physically fighting in front of us. And after that fight, my auntie was like, I can't do this anymore. You know, I was being patient because obviously you have a child. Obviously my middle name is Delphin, so a lot of people call me Delphin. So she was like, the only reason why I was being patient is because Delphin's here, and I don't want to kick you guys on the street, because then that means I'm kicking her out on the street too. But my auntie was like, I had enough. You need to go. So we now had to live at another auntie's place, and from there, I think my mom was so frustrated because she didn't expect my auntie to kick her out, and so she called up my grandparents and said, you know, can you take Delphin, because things are getting hard for me over here. I'm just moving from one place to the other. I'm not settled, and it's going to be hard to be settled when I've got her with me. So my grandparents, they didn't mind. So I went back to America. I was 10, about 10 years old. So I didn't see my mom again until I was 17. So yeah, so I was 10 years old, went to America, was with my grandparents and my cousin and my uncle. We lived in many different places. Things were okay. I mean, there was the occasional times where I would get in trouble. I always used to get suspended from school because not only was I a tomboy, I did fight a lot in school. I was a child with a lot of anger and a lot of rage. So obviously, I used to get into a lot of fights. One of my main fights was because there was this boy that was bullying my cousin. So my cousin, when he was younger, I used to say to him, you have a girl like a bum. You have a girl's bum. Like, he just had like this really fat bum. And like his accent was strong, like someone that just came from Africa. And you know, these people in America, they're bullies. Like, if you don't fit in a certain way, they'll bully you. And so this boy was just after my cousin because he sounded like he just came off the plane from Africa, and he kind of acted a bit feminine as well. So they used to make fun of him so much. And for me, I'm very overprotective when it comes to my family. So I used to defend him. I mean, I will fight that one boy 3 times in one day, because it's like every time he saw my cousin, he will go after him. And so I used to get suspended a lot, and oh my God, it was just, those times were quite funny for me because every time I got suspended, my granddad would go to school, and I love him so much. God rest his soul. He died 2012 May, and literally he would go to school and they're like explaining to him that, you know, Thelma got into another fight. She's hurting people. The boy's mom is not happy. This, and that. And the one thing I used to love about my granddad, he will listen to everything they said, and then he goes, well, we've told you many times that this boy is bullying my grandson, and you guys never did anything about it. So she's doing something about it. What's the problem with that? Oh, but we don't tolerate violence in the school. And my granddad was like, but you tolerate him constantly picking on my grandson and hitting him and breaking his stuff. And like, you can just see their face. And it's just like, we're trying to tell you that your granddaughter is just extremely violent. And he was just, in his head, he was just like, and so? She's defending her cousin. I loved him. And like, it'll be a thing where some people will be like, oh, I'm in trouble. Like, when my granddad stepped up in there, I used to wear this like dress in pants. Like, he looked like he's going to a job interview. It used to be the funniest thing ever. And the way that he used to walk as well, when he go up in there, he used to be yelling at them like, how do you want me to feel? They're bothering my grandson and my granddaughter's defending him, but every time you're suspending her. And it's just like, in his head, it's kind of like, we understand that where you're coming from, but your granddaughter can't go around beating people up. Because I didn't used to fight women. I fought boys. Like, back then, I wasn't a person that was a big fan of boys. Like, if you said something to me, I just found it disrespectful, I'll slap you. Do you get me? Like, I was I was very violent growing up, especially towards boys, because it was just like, they were so annoying. Like, I just found them to be just annoying. Till this day, to be honest, I think men are just jarring. They're just annoying. So it was a thing where it was so funny. And like, this boy just wouldn't leave my cousin alone. And then there was one time where he came up to me and he was like, oh, every time you're getting involved, this and that. And he was telling my cousin, you're always bringing your cousin to come fight your battles and stuff. So next time I'm going to bring my sister Natalie or Natalie or something like that. And I was like, you can go bring your sister Broccoli. I don't care. I will beat the shit out of you and I'll beat the shit out of her. And he brought his sister and I fucked them both up. Excuse my language. And it was just like, I just kept getting suspended. It was mad. It was crazy. And then my grandparents decided to bring over my other aunties and uncles. I think it was 2 more uncles and 2 more aunties, so 4 of them. So she brought them over from Sierra Leone. And from there, that's when my life started going downhill. I think this is where my abuse started. And I wasn't happy when they came down. I mean, when they first came down, I was happy because I was thinking, you know, I get to know my uncles and my aunties and stuff. But I wasn't, after a while of them being there, I wasn't happy at all. So when they came over, they lived with us for a while. And it was alright. And then I had my attempted rape happen. So when I was about the age of, I think I was... I don't know the exact age I was, but I would say ranging from 12, actually, no, 10 to about 13. Basically, what happened is me and my best friend, a lot of people back then were talking about things like losing your virginity and stuff like that. Normal discussion that we talk about during lunchtime and stuff. Obviously, my friends like to talk about their experiences and when they had it and stuff like that. And for me and my friend, it was just like, most of the time we were quiet. And one of my friends was just like, oh, you guys never really say anything about it. And I was like, yeah, because we're virgins. I mean, we've never had it, so we've never experienced it. We don't know what it's like. So, I mean, we can't really say nothing. We can't really comment. But we've never done it ourselves. And they were just absolutely shocked. It was just like, but you've had boyfriends. So I was like, yeah, I've had boyfriends, obviously. Like, everyone knew who my boyfriend was during them days. Like, his name was Ricky, and I was just absolutely crazy about him. I still talk to him to this day. But yeah, it was just, I had boyfriends, but never had sex with them. Like, I wasn't, like I said, I wasn't into guys like that. I was just still naive, I guess. And I did try to lose my virginity at 12, but it was a thing where we didn't know what we were doing, so it was just mad painful, and we didn't know which part to stick it in, and it just, we just stopped, and we was just like, we'll try again years down the line when we're a bit more experienced on what to do. But yeah, I was still a virgin, so like, it was just a thing where we were talking about it, and I think these boys overheard us, and what they did is they planned to rape us, basically. It was 5 of them. So what happened is, after school, sometimes me and my friend, we stay and we go to the library and, you know, chill out and do our work and stuff like that. So one of these days, we normally go out through the back door of the school, and obviously they know that we go through the back door. They followed us, and we thought, okay, they're following us because they're just going out the same way. And as we exit the building, I had one of them jump on my back, and I thought, okay, they're just playing around. And before I knew it, I was thrown to the floor, and basically he ripped my shirt open, and he was trying to like rip the straps off my bra, basically. And my other friend, I can see they were literally trying to get her trousers off and all of that, and I felt horrible because I couldn't defend her because it was 5 of them, and it was hard. It was hard to fend them all off. What eventually made them stop is a lady that was like, basically, because it's the back of the school, there's like different classrooms facing that way, and one lady saw what was happening and yelled, "What are you guys doing?" And then they ran off. And when they ran off, my shirt and everything was ripped. I mean, they were close to basically raping us. We went back in, we told the principal what had happened, and she had to call the police. And when she called the police, they basically they spoke to us, and for me, I couldn't say much because it was just a lot going on. I did explain to them what happened, and basically ended up going to court. And the lady that I always saw her as in, she saved me that day because I was getting ready to get raped. She ended up turning against us, and she told this story that wasn't true. Basically, what she was trying to say is that we took the guys in the back and we were basically trying to suck them off, kind of thing. And obviously, we were virgins. We don't know anything about shit like that. Like, no, it wasn't like that at all. But what we came to find out, and what the principal was telling us, is that basically one of the boys that was a part of this was her nephew. And so at the time, she didn't want to say anything that will destroy his future, because she knew if she would have gave a true statement, he could have done time, and that would mess up his future and his career. And so she decided to lie instead. And obviously we had no proof that she was lying because it was her word against ours. And so when the case went to court, the judge said that we didn't have enough evidence to take this further. So case was dropped against them. The only one witness that we had that would have helped didn't want to be a witness. Instead, she was on the other side. So yeah, it was a scary situation for me, knowing that I've never been raped before. But the scariest part is what I'm going to tell you next.